And that's where now God allows mankind to partake of flesh, because there was nothing else that they could subsist of. Everything else was destroyed. Plant nature around was destroyed by the flood. And so that's where we can see now God allowing mankind to eat flesh. Before that, if any of us ever lived before the time where mankind had fallen, we would have all been plant-based or vegetarians or vegans, however you want to call it. So obviously there was an instruction to eat the animals, but there were some limitations. If you go on further reading, you will find that they were not supposed to eat the animals with the blood, the flesh with the blood. And if we critically think about it, the initial instruction that God had given them to eat of the animals, but the instruction to eat the flesh without the blood, because in the blood is where there is life. That's what God is saying. Don't eat the animal with the blood. If you think about it critically, blood is the simplest or the basic unit of anything or any living animal. You yourself, if you've got blood, that's the simplest unit of who you are. That makes you up. And so the blood forms the cells, the muscles, the bones, and ultimately the body. Without blood, you cannot be who you are. You cannot be Derek. And that's why blood is important for life. And so when God says, take out the blood from the animal, in essence, what he is basically saying is, you cannot eat flesh without blood in it. I mean, our Muslim brethren, they have got special procedures in which they extract blood from flesh. But if you think about it critically, blood actually makes up fat, blood makes up bones, blood makes up the bone marrow, blood makes up the skin, blood makes up every cell of a living animal. And so when God says, you shall eat the flesh without the blood, in short, he's telling you it's an impossible task. If you think about it scientifically, it's not possible. You cannot extract all of the blood from a flesh. And even if you do, or claim to, that flesh will be tasteless.
Was there a time frame given to Noah initially to eat the meat?
Well, if you think about it critically, God allowed them to eat the flesh so long there was nothing else that they could eat. And so when they got out of the ark, the obvious thing is that vegetation started to grow once again. I mean, we are living post the flood right now. And there's vegetation around, plenty of it actually. And so mankind would, if they were wise, they would have switched back to the original diet and not kept on eating the flesh as per before they had anything else to eat. So I think when you look at it critically, God had given them this injunction to eat flesh because there was no other alternative. There are many instances where God will give an instruction that is temporal. And I think we need to apply wisdom on how to understand how temporal is the instruction that God has given us. In my opinion, if you want to look at it critically, I would say the injunction to eat flesh should have been up to the point where they had an alternative. And that alternative is when the waters subsided and there was no longer a flood, right? There was no longer a flood around and they came out of the ark and plants started to grow back. That is the point where mankind should have gone back